one way or another. The destiny was already, the karmic law was already in full action. So he said, I will take a break from this. He tried even to mediate, please, don't fight here. There will be lots of dead people hanging around with this. And it's quite predictable who will even be killed. They wouldn't listen. They wouldn't listen. So he didn't want to get too much involved, so he kind of withdrew. And he used this pilgrimage trip to be absent from the Battle of Kurukshetra. You can see how distinctively feelingful God is in his different features. Very discriminate, very gentle, in different features. In one feature, or his origin as Govinda Krishna, he's taking part as the charioteer driver. In the other feature, he is, so this is, because God can be in so many forms, doing so many things simultaneously. We have only this one form. And we try to sometimes to do many things simultaneously. Well, you know how that can end up. Completely confused and messed up. Where you try to do this and that, and then at the end you cannot handle anything. But God can do so many things. He can manage the universe, he can play flute, he can fight on a battlefield, he can go on pilgrimage, all simultaneously. So this whole Krishna conscious movement actually is ultimately aiming for only one goal, to understand who is Krishna, to understand God. And the more personally we understand him, and we understand how we as eternal persons relating to the Supreme Eternal Person, to that degree, actually, we will also abstain from getting too much involved with this world. Because this world is a place to visit and go. That's all. It's just a temporary existence. This is not our home. Therefore Krishna doesn't come here so easily. He is very rarely coming and exhibiting his pastime just to stir up the interest of the conditioned souls, so they get the desire, get reactivated again. Or actually, I would like to go where he lives. I would go there to him, not staying here. That's the whole idea. So for this hearing about the pastimes of Krishna, hearing about the pastimes of Balarama, is very essential, because then the inherent desire of the soul will be gradually activated. And because it's all a question of desire. When we die, where we go will be defined by our desire, not by our intellectual understanding, not by the material assets we acquired, not by our intellectuality, or not by our academic education, by our money, by our social status. This is all finished. Actually, I saw it in India so nicely illustrated. I was sitting once in Bazaar in Vrindavan, in Shopping Street, and then a big music band came. I heard the music. It was not really the Vaishnava music we are playing. It was, you ever saw this band?
Wedding music.
It was a wedding music. It was some gentlemen dressed up in some kind of not very clean, kind of English band uniforms with some kind of things hanging here and there. And they were playing, in the West you would call the music free jazz. Something like this. It didn't make any sense whatsoever, but they were very enthusiastic. It was a whole band marching, and then there was a little bit kind of elderly horse, white horse, and on that horse was sitting the bride. But the horse didn't look so clean either. It was a little bit low-budget marriage. So, and then there was a whole thing, and it was very fast, they were going very fast, and they were going direction like the river and something like that. And then I was just going, wow, I didn't saw such a band ever, and then I realized, that must have been marriage, because the bride was sitting on the horse, and the horse was like a little bit tired and a little bit hungry. So, anyways, the whole procession passed. Half an hour later, I heard the same band coming back. I was saying, another marriage? Today is a really marriage marathon here. No, it was a funeral. Instead of the bride, they carried on a bamboo stretcher a dead body. I think the hand was hanging out like this, and it was covered with some actually it was covered with a cloth. And it was like, and then they carried this, and it was the same tune, you know. They were like, bam, 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 bam. I was going, oh, this is almost symbolic, you know. It's really a nice allegorical display how this works in this material world. Here they get married, here they are dead. In India, same band playing, you know. It's like, yeah, why not? It's economical, you know. They didn't even change the dress. So, this is the material world. Here the church opens, marriage. And half an hour later, you know, they carry the coffin. It's like, it's really very close when you consider the length of a life. What is it? Just a few years. You know, when you are in a certain age, you know, marriage, the same church, you know, a few years later, they carry you out in a coffin. Finished. Very symbolic. It's a very allegorical display. So why not just get the point? This is all coming and going, and yes, we go through different stages of life, and many lifetimes. If we would see the preview and the, you know, looking back, how many lifetimes we spent in these various bodies. You will see the armies of these parents and wives and children and these roles we have to play throughout our life. You know, from baby, and then the lover, and then the fiancé, and then the father, and then the mother, and then the old idiot, you know, and then senile, and again dying, and again the same thing. So many different shapes, so many different bodies. We would not be so much concerned, really, about the drama of this lifetime. It's just like, you know, like a flower. It just goes, and then, oh. That's it. It's, if you would take it, you know, they have nowadays means to speed it up. There's actually a movie, quite old one. It was very much in the ISKCON web pages posted. Have you ever saw it? It is not done by devotees. It's done by somebody who obviously got in touch with Srila Prabhupada's books. It starts in a very drastic way. It's a few-second movie. It was one of the first things circulating on internet already in the 80s. I remember that. It shows, you know, a birth of a child. Discreetly but violently. It starts with a violent scream. And the child is not born, it comes shooting out of the womb like a rocket. And it flies through the space. And as it flies through the space, it's aging. You know? You can see in a flight how the baby goes, there's a young man, still flying. And it's an older man, the same speed. And then, after a few seconds, the man is kind of reaching the peak, and then he goes down like an airplane. And he goes, and the beard comes, and with the same force it came out of the womb, it slams into an open grave, you know, the earth comes up, and the stone, you know, the lid comes boom. And that's the end of the movie. It's basically, in a nutshell, what happens. You never saw this?
It's quite funny.
Jayapadagamana was broadcasting this all the time by everyone.
Who?
Jayapadagamana was always like, you have to watch this is foul. It was just a few seconds, but very illustrative. It was like, and then, blong. That was it. In a nutshell, that's what we are going through. Just in between, we are caught in so many circumstances, so absorbed in so many things, because one feature of Maya is that she makes the unimportant important, and the really important thing is completely unimportant. Like you go on the street, we try to preach, people go, what is Hare Krishna? What is this? I have no time. I'm busy. Of course you are busy. With what? Well, I'm busy. I have to eat. So you ate? Yes. And I have to sleep. I'm busy. So how was it? You're sleeping? Yeah, I was sleeping, but I'm still busy. I have to go to work. Why? Well, because I have to eat. Why are you eating? Because I have to work. Why are you working? Because I have to eat. I'm very busy. I'm so busy. I have no time to read about some Balarama, some with white and long earrings, and there's no time for this. I mean, it's nice, it's not bad, but I have no time. I'm busy. This is material nature. But we are the living proof, we are also busy. Of course we are busy. As a matter of fact, in Krishna consciousness or more Krishna consciousness, we are also busy, but it's different. It's not busy just filling the belly and then busy maintaining this body. Even we have to admit, yes, we are also maintaining the bodies and it takes lots of time. But you don't have to increase the whole thing. You have to enhance the whole thing. I'm not busy roaming through the shopping house to find out what kind of shampoo fits to my body. People spend hours with this. You know, today I saw two men trying perfumes in a shopping house. It's unbelievable. They went, and they went, nah. You know, what's the use? I mean, perfume, not perfume. Sorry, when you wake up in the morning, then perfume doesn't help you very much. And they don't even wash themselves. That's Prabhupada's argument thing to do, yeah. So what? Why to waste so much time with these things? People go in a shopping house to buy a bed. You ever saw a bed department in a shopping house? Pathetic. So usually the wives, they sit on the bed and they go, they can go for hours with this. Bed, 20,000 kroner, you know. And they go, well, sorry, when you are asleep, you don't feel one thing. You know, you just fall over. Well, what's the use? You wake up and my bed was 20,000 kroner. What's the use of that? When you are sleeping, you don't understand one thing. You know, and then they go in the bathroom, and then they go, ooh, and this ceramic, and that mirror, and this, and what do you do in the bathroom? I don't even get in detail what you do in the bathroom. It's not a place really, basically, to be. It's something you do and go out. And hopefully you have a good ventilation in that room. It's not a place you sit in a bathroom and go, what a ceramic. No. Just the smell is intolerable. Just get out. This is the reality of the story. No. They can extract so much intensity in every action. How you eat, with what you eat. They don't even ask actually who you are eating. That's our question. You know, they go in a restaurant, France, Prabhu was ending up in France. He was really impressed in Paris. Quite few analogies from his lectures come from Paris. Starting with an old man paying so much money just to watch girls. You know, in a special club. They cannot do anything. They are too old. They are useless, they are finished. But just to watch. They pay so much money. Prabhupada considers this to be like the ultimate example of illusion. You cannot do anything, you are finished, but you pay money to watch. It's all virtual actually. It's hopeless, it's pathetic. And then Prabhupada came to the eating. He said, in Paris they eat what is this? And then one devotee said, oysters. You know, oysters. Prabhupada said, yeah, oysters. Oh, I have seen, you have tasted. You know, and the devotee was like, oh, what did I say? You know, this is oysters, you don't even describe it here. This is an underwater snail you are sucking in yourself. It's absolutely uneatable. It's rotten, it's green, it stinks. But they go, you know, unbelievable. But they spend money with it. And it's very expensive. Why? Because the silver, you know, there's a silver spoon and silver thing to it. That's what you pay for. And then they go, you know, this and that, and they go home and say, that was a good meal. But they are still hungry. It's actually, you know, sometimes they serve this and, you know, it's three things on a plate. You have to look for it, you know, with a magnifying glass. Before you find it with a fork and you go, you know, wow, 3,000 kroner, wow. You know, they don't even know how to eat. We as the Hare Krishnas, we have to teach people how to eat, how to sleep, and even how to have sex. Well, I was really upset when Rio de Janeiro in South America, in a public Ratha procession, through the loudspeakers, of course South America, the ultimate challenge came way back from the public, somebody screaming. There's thousands of people involved, you know. And Prabhupada asked his servant, there's somebody screaming, what does he want? And his assistant said, well, Prabhupada, he wants to know why we don't like sex life. Very relevant question in South America. So, you know, Prabhupada was going, what? Through the loudspeakers in the procession. He gives, I think, 15-minute presentation how to have sex life in Krishna consciousness. So, yes, he wants to know. We will tell him. Yes, you know, and then, you know, thousands of people can listen now how Krishna have sex life. So proud. Yes, people don't even know that. So there's so much to learn from Krishna, from Lord Balaram, from this wonderful knowledge we have, to make one life a little bit more sane in this world, and above all, to get ready to not come back to this world which is actually geniusly designed to make people insane. If you enter a lunatic, you know, hospital, you know, don't expect to meet sane people. But it's a place of recovery. That's what the point is. Lord Brahma, when he creates this world, he himself expresses the amazement. I created this whole material creation. So people get rectified, they get the point. Like example, there's 4 seminars to attend. Birth, old age, death and disease. That's a pretty heavy lesson. They don't get the point. Even Brahma is wondering. They don't get the point. They restructured the whole thing. They think it's nice. It's like going in a jail, you know. That's mean to make you aware, hey, you are locked up, you cannot go anywhere, you will suffer here. After a while, the prisoners goes, it's not so bad here. Oh, look, they are serving us the food here. You know, I have my friends here. Sometimes they want to release them, they don't want to go. You say, what should I do out there? I don't know anybody. You know, it's nice here. Look, there is food for free. Outside I have to work. You know, it's shocking. So this material world is like that, to inspire us to leave. But somewhat we all just decorate and think, oh, beautiful. Oh, look, the bars are like that, you know. And the other prisoners, yeah, he killed some people, but you know, well, I did something too, so what's the big deal, you know? And we kind of adjust the whole thing, the whole understanding, the value system, our perception gets kind of, Prabhupada called it habituated. We get used to it. It's nice. It's not nice. It's crazy. But Krishna doesn't do crazy things. He does things supposedly crazy so we understand how to become normal. So we get inspired. Pain, madness, and all this is simply to trigger the instinct we have inherent as a spiritual soul to strive for sanity. That's difficult, especially in this age. As one of my godbrothers said just a few days ago, he said, sanity is a rare commodity in this age. But who wants to judge who is sane and insane? He cannot, Krishna can. So if somebody wants to be really what we used to call in the 60s, far out, you know, actually they have another expression, groovy. That was the hippie thing. He's groovy. Means he is really far out. Why not just listen about Lord Balaram, who is definitely an exceptional personality, performing such amazing, wonderful activities, and understand the transcendental features of the most exceptional, most amazing, and most wonderful personality, Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna. Is there comments to this? Questions? I would say for the ones who may visit first time or something like this, to listen to the transcendental features of Lord Balaram is quite surprising, must be surprising. I remember the first time I came to the temple, I heard more detailed description of Krishna, I couldn't understand one thing. I was thinking, who are they talking about? Because I never heard about a person like this. And immediately inside the doubt arises, that's not possible. This is just allegorical stories. No. Why not? We don't even know how many exceptional people walk on this planet. What to speak beyond that? So with that kind of understanding, we can understand that we don't understand. Once we understand that, then the door opens to spiritual practice. That I understand that I don't understand. And by, Krishna says, by devotional service only, serving me, that means all the listening. This is all devotional service. People think, I'm not doing any service, I'm just sitting here listening. That's all the service. It's called Shravana. And the result of this, when one is really sincerely just sitting and hearing, which is an achievement in Kali Yuga, because most people don't want to hear, they want to talk. Even they have nothing to say, they want to talk. They go, it's called democracy. Everybody has to talk. You cannot just talk alone, he has to talk too. Yes, okay, can you say something? Yes, I want to say something. Yeah, very nice, great. Thank you for the contribution. Somebody has something else to say? Okay, that's also very important. Somebody else wants something to say. It's called parliament. So this Kali Yuga, this age is full of this kind of everybody wants to say, but the science is how to listen. And the nice thing is, when one listens properly and carefully, automatically one starts to speak. There must be an impulse to give it to us. If that impulse is not there, then the hearing was not proper. This is how you judge if somebody really heard about Krishna. He immediately gets, and we see it in new devotees. When they start to listen, and they start to get the glimpse of how wonderful this knowledge is, and how amazing this Krishna is. They get sometimes so excited, they want to tell it to others, that they overdo it a little bit sometimes. The classical scene, Bhakta Hans comes back to the parents and he goes, this is Krishna, this is, and the parents sit, what did they do to my son? I know stories from devotees going back to their old friends, trying to explain to them, this is amazing, come on, join also. Ending up really being frustrated. And when one goes back, will end up actually looking in a barrel of a gun, like this. No, I want to tell you, where do you go? When he was realizing, you're going to shoot me when I keep on talking. So one has to be a little bit discriminate and careful, but the instinct is nice. Whoever heard properly, he will also be very inspired to preach. Prabhupada said, I can only preach because I'm good in preaching, Prabhupada said. Why? Because I was good in hearing.
Is Nishingadeva's expansion of Balarama, he's also getting red eyes and very angry.
Well, the mood is somewhat similar, it's just Nishingadeva drives it really to this. Now I don't want to make a judgment here from the point of conditioned soul, who is more entertaining and who is more extreme. It's all transcendental. But I was just thinking about this lecture before I started. I was thinking, I hope I don't slip in the Nishinga Chaturdasi mood, because it is, Lord Balarama is also angry. The element of anger is there. That's transcendental anger. Nishingadeva also was very uncompromisingly angry.
You mentioned prison houses. Yeah. You say it's a completely ridiculous place to stay, but these very weak people that's entering such kind of houses, such places, I think it's very good for them to stay there.
Yeah,
because they get free from intoxication, a lot of bad relationship, and they have a chance to get some education, they get some chance in life.
Yeah, that's what the whole thing should be.
Yeah.
But I also know practical examples of people who go there and become even better criminals.
Yes.
Depends
when
what
you
you
come in
want.
there, you get actually worse Because the present house is not made right.
That is not made
So
right. That's all.
I talked with one because I had a relationship who and I've been there, and she said to me, actually I have a problem. He maybe even get worse. So that's right.
I would like to ask, what should we spiritually pray for on a day like this? For Balaram's appearance day, is there anything?
For Bala, actually, good point. There's a point I wanted to bring out, almost forgot it. Baladev, that was Prabhupada's point on Balarama appearance day, he pointed out, Balaram is actually the source of our spiritual strength. And then he pointed out, Bala means spiritual strength, not material strength. So that's what we can pray for to Baladev, so we get more spiritual strength, because only by means of spiritual strength one can overcome the illusions surrounding us. You can see it. Devotees actually, when they become very Krishna conscious, they become very powerful. Where is this coming from? Not even physically, but physically also, actually. They can start to do things they never did before, because there's a freedom of doubt. So this Madhusudana, Krishna is called the killer of Madhu, the doubt. So that can be easily applied to Lord Balaram, because by the Bala, the spiritual strength, he blesses his devotee. One gets freedom of doubt. So there's nothing wrong to pray to Lord Baladev, please give me the spiritual strength to overcome the illusion surrounding me. Because doubt, derived from illusion, makes us weak. In Arjuna's case, so weak that he, who was able to fight with 10,000 men at once, couldn't hold even the bow. It slipped out of his hand. And he couldn't even stand. He had to sit down on the chariot. Big Arjuna, because there was a doubt. So this removal of doubt, one needs a spiritual strength for that. And it's clearly demonstrated in devotees. You can just watch it. It's not something mystical, you know. You can watch it. People ask us, what did you do with people like this? You know, what happened to him? Before he was like, oof and ah, oh, I saw that I felt, that I saw. I don't know. I don't know what I saw. I think that I saw. That I feel. I don't know. What do I feel? Well, what do you imagine how a person like this looks like? Just few weeks in Krishna consciousness, chanting Hare Krishna, following the process. Just come and look. Sometimes so much bhava power comes out of that person, we have to repair the drawers. You know. It's not exactly a symptom of absolute Krishna consciousness, but somewhere it just comes out. Hare Krishna! Because the mind becomes clarified, becomes more simple. Now I have to do this. Now Krishna wants me to do that. Now I have to do like this. No, and suddenly the doubt is vanishing and the power comes. And we can see clearly. When I joined this movement, people were just looking at me, he had only one comment. I was for them like almost female. They were like, I was just, you don't believe it now, but I was a very skinny and very shy boy. I was standing in a corner like, and they're going, say something. And I was going, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. And they did this. They gave me a big pile of prasada.